this is when the Colts had Peyton Manning waiting there because he didn't come out the year before because Parcells, our brilliant head coach, decided not to tell Archie Manning he couldn't guarantee that he would take his kid first. It's just the stupidest thing. History could have been totally different for us, Jets fans. But it's not. And it sucks because Parcells is one of the greatest coaches we've ever had, if not the greatest. So how can you complain? You can't. I hate that prison cell. I hate it. I want to yell. I want to bitch about it. But I can't because Parcells was good. Traded back. Got James Farrier and Dedrick Ward out of that one. That's what I think. The Washington Redskins at the time, they didn't want to trade the 5th overall pick. They didn't want to do it. They probably wanted Ricky Williams or they wanted somebody for their own team. And Ditka just kept dumping shit. No, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. And he got to a deal. You're seriously going to give me the 12 overall, every pick in this draft, plus your 1st and 3rd next year for one guy? They took it. So you want to know how this worked out? 2 years later, the Saints traded Ricky Williams. I think they fired Mike Ditka too. Like, this guy's out of his fucking mind. So that's what they did. This guy's out of his mind. They bought in on name only. They said, hey, man, he's a genius. We're just going to go. Nobody thinks this is smart. Nobody else in the organization bought into that one. I'm sure of it. But they let him do it because he's Mike Ditka, and then we learned right there that Mike Ditka's plumb crazy.
Dudes, so what is happening, everybody? I want to tell you guys, number one, I'm excited about tonight, but number two, I brought in some artillery for tonight because people are yelling at me. Let me get this overlay off real quick. People been yelling at me this week, man. Everybody's writing me, telling me I'm ugly and that I don't do things right. So I'm going to bring in a guy that's with us every week, man. This guy's no joke. He's in the trenches with us. He's in the mocks. He's always a part of everything that we do. We're going to call him Jimmy. You guys know him as Asylum Reaper, but here he comes. He's from the Weapons Hot radio show on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Let's say hello to Jimmy. What's up, dude?
Hey, how's it going, man? Chat, what's happening? You guys doing good? I hope so.
Yeah, man.
And
so
stop
yelling
at my boy, man. Stop yelling at my
Yeah.
I get it all the time too.
I know. You guys, most 99% of everybody that come in here are just rock stars, awesome. But then, you have some guys that make me, it's funny, when I was a stand-up comedian for a long time, I don't know if you guys knew that, but I used to travel around. I did in New York and LA, and I would travel. And there's a phenomenon called the face among stand-up comedians. So you could have 300 people in the audience, and everybody loves you, and there's one person in the audience in the back not laugh right. Exactly, not laughing. And for some reason, there's always a spotlight on that asshole's face, and it's the only face you see in the entire audience. It does. The 99% of the people that are just splitting a rib, laughing, don't mean a thing. Your purpose is to get that guy to laugh, and it's funny how it consumes you. Well, the same phenomenon is taking place here. I got everybody saying, "Hey, I really enjoyed it. It's a great time," and there's one guy like, "You suck." And I'm like, why? Why do I suck so bad? And I got to check everything. But anyway, this gives us an opportunity to bring you on, dude. I actually was a guest on your radio show not too far back, and it was a blast, man. We did like an hour and a half that night. It was super killer. So I'm really fortunate, and I'm grateful to be able to have this opportunity to bring you on. And I think you'll make sure that we're all good, won't you now?
Well, yeah, I absolutely will. I got you covered, Chad. I got you covered, GB, and it was a blast having you on. I'm honored to be on your channel as well. I absolutely love the show, and I'm looking forward to it, man. I've been dying to do a mock draft with you, man. This is gonna be great.
Yeah, this is gonna be cool. So real quick before we move on, Liam Riordan, who's always with us, too, he's another rock star. He says, look, LOL, GreenBean was a comedian and he was in the adult film industry. What a legend. You know what's funny about that, Liam, is that it's actually all true.
Yeah.
That's the funniest part about it. Is like sometimes I hear myself talking, I'm like, what? What the fuck? What did I do? You know, but that's that's what happened. That's how I got into the adult film industry. Did you know we were a pretty big New York comedy outfit for a while? We were called Bag of Nuts, and we had 5 guys, and we were very popular. And we got offered from Hustler Films to fly out to LA. They paid us $42,000 to make an adult comedy. A fucking comedy. That's we're like, yeah, like, can you make an adult film funny? I'm like, yeah. Why not?
That's awesome.
42 grand? Sure, man. Sure, I'll do it. I don't know how funny it was. If you guys ever want to look at it, was a movie called Reality Sucks. And the subsidiary was VCA Films. If you ever want to see it, my character was named Yankee Doodle. You'll see me. You think I'm kidding? Go check.
No, I don't.
Go check it out.
I'm gonna Reality Sucks.
Yeah, Reality Sucks from VCA Pictures. You'll see it. You'll see. My character was Yankee Doodle. You'll see what that means if you ever find that mess of a movie. So what's up, everybody? This is really cool. So I see some people asking the questions, and I'll just get right to it first. We are going to do a mock free agency tonight. Hopefully, well, look, I've prepared some stuff for you guys. I wanted to get contract numbers and all that so we could be really accurate, but maybe we'll do that again as we get closer to free agency. For tonight, we're just going to pick from each player group. We'll pick one player, and if you want 2 players from one player group, you got to sacrifice another player group. So this is what that's going to look like. And then we'll take votes. We'll see who we want, and then we can know that going into our mock draft, so we don't fight over a wide receiver when we signed one in free agency, kind of a thing. So here's what that's going to look like. Let me share my screen with you here. So here are the safeties. So what I did, guys, was I grabbed like the top 5 at each position group. I know it's not going to be everybody's top 5. I had little mini micro arguments with myself as well. So I know it's going to happen. People can say, why isn't this guy in there? Why isn't look, if you make a strong enough case, maybe we'll consider it. But for our purposes tonight, let's try to get one guy from each group. Jimmy, if you wouldn't mind just kind of documenting them, just like make sure that we know we took Kareem Jackson, so when we're moving on, we're not all fluttered and everything. So everybody good? Oh yeah, Rafa. Well, that's where I did the math. Was in my adult film. Travis, Travis and I have a long history together. Travis Henderson in the chat, and he knew all about it. I used to run these things, these like men's groups and shit, and Travis would go in there with me, and I would always use those stories, man. So yeah, $42,000. No, Derek, $42,000 total, but for an adult film that you can do for $350, 42 grand is a lot of fucking money, man. You know what I mean? You can pay a girl $300 in the adult. Exactly. That was a lot. It was a lot of crystal meth is what that was. So does everybody understand? Do we have any questions about the free agency aspect of tonight's mock before we move into the draft and everything else? Any questions, guys? Keanu, no. Look, Jimmy, they're voting. Right to it. Like, no, stupid.
I see it.
Yeah, they're like, no, stupid. We're good. We get it. It's not that grand of a concept. All right, guys. So why don't we do that? Why don't we start with the safeties? So we'll take a vote. The name that we're hearing a lot right now because of our new defensive coordinator is Keanu Neil. Jimmy, is that the guy that you would want out of this safety pool, or is there another guy that you think we should take?
I really like Keanu Neil. The ACLs kind of scare me, but I think it would out of the group provided. I think he'd probably be the best option. And then he's coming. If I don't want to be wrong, I believe Ulbrich actually came from Atlanta, right? Or who came? One of our coaches came from Atlanta.
Yes, yeah, Albrecht. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
So I think Keanu Neil coming in would give us some consistency as far as the defense that he's going for.
Right, and
So yeah, I
that
like
has a
it.
lot of value. That has a
Yeah.
lot of value, doesn't it? When you get a couple guys, it's not that the coaches can't coach, but you're having guys that already know the way it is, just to help with the culture aspect of it, can be a big
Sure.
deal. Like, remember Jim Leonard? He wasn't necessarily the most athletic guy in the world, but Rex said, "This guy knows my defense better than anybody in the world."
Yep.
So he brought him over. You know.
But yeah, and having
So,
having something like that would be valuable because it's not just the players listening to a coach; it's the players listening to a peer on the field with them, as far as how to make the system work. So I like Keanu Neil. I think we can get past the ACL injuries.
yeah, man. Let's bring in everybody who has had ACL industries, and let's test the Jets curse and see if we can get past it all in one fell swoop. No injuries. We'll get rid of the Gase thing, all these injuries, right? So, all right, guys. So let's start taking a vote. We're going to start with our safeties. We have Sean Williams out of Cincinnati. We have Kareem Jackson out of Denver. Duron Harmon out of Detroit. Jalen Mills, Philly Eagles, and Keanu Neil, the name we've been reading a lot about this past week from the Atlanta Falcons, who might be a benefit to come over with Albrecht, our new defensive coordinator. So who are we thinking?
Chat is Neil's winning. Keanu Neil is definitely winning. I'm seeing some Jacksons, and
yeah,
I actually see Mills.
You know, it's funny. If all things were equal and the Albrecht connection wasn't there, I would be going for Kareem Jackson right now. But I do agree. I think that Neil makes a lot of sense. You know. So it looks like we're good on Neil. I see a couple Jacksons in there.
Couple Jacksons. There's a Harmon.
Oh, Harmon's in there. James Shea, I want to tell you, yes, we're going with the second overall pick. We have not traded for anybody this week. We'll see if we do decide to trade when the draft comes. But as far as for our draft purposes, we're going with what the Jets have right now as draft picks. So it looks like Keanu Neil, huh?
Yep, that's what it's looking like.
So Joe Douglas's first free agent signing in the Robert Saleh era is Neil out of Atlanta. Well done, everybody. Well done. So let's see. It might be a touch sloppy. Let's see. So that was the safeties. Let's stick with the defensive backs. What do you guys think? Let's try to round out some cornerbacks. Same thing. Up top, we have Richard Sherman. He's not quite as sprightly as maybe some of the others, but the same connection, right? He has that Saleh, that passionate Saleh support, and he might be a good guy to bring over for that. What do you guys think?
He's all in.
Yeah.
I think Richard Sherman all in on the culture that Saleh brings.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to play. I mean, well, look, Josh Norman, I don't really love. I didn't love him in Washington, but he had a great year last year. He really did. So I don't know. I don't know if maybe being in Washington was just not a good spot for him or whatever, but well, Garrett, listen to this. See here, I knew it was going to start. So this is interesting. I'm glad that you brought it up. Garrett Ham. He said, get two of them. So here's what we're going to do. Remember, we didn't do the contracts. So we have to have some sort of governing principle. So if we're going to take two players out of one group, we're going to sacrifice players from another group. So, for example, if we do want to take two cornerbacks right now, we can't take an edge rusher or something like that. Okay? So we have to make that decision.
I saw a comment in the chat from Terry Monroe. The cost of Keanu Neil, currently he's obviously going to be a free agent. He's currently making about $6 million. So I think you could probably get him for 7, maybe 8.
Okay, that's good. That was Terry.
Terry Monroe.
Good.
Yep.
Terry always throws out some good stuff, man.
It's a very
Yeah.
valid question because especially, you consider the injury history, especially the ACL. Like that's definitely a valid question.
Yeah, for sure. So it looks like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, you have a closer look on it, but it looks like people are in support of the Sherman idea.
I totally agree with chat on Sherman. We're seeing, yeah, I don't
Right?
see.
Matthew Yule. Matthew Yule says must get an edge. I agree, but don't forget, we're going into the
We're
draft too.
getting
So
there.
this is really good. We can set up, like, for example, if we wanted to grab 2 cornerbacks right here and leave the edge to the draft, we could potentially double up there. You know what I mean? It doesn't, it doesn't have to be a penalty. It's just it helps to govern our thoughts going into the draft. You know what I mean?
But I like Richard Sherman with the solid connection, and I think he's going to be versatile because he doesn't have to be in the San Francisco style defense that we're bringing in. He doesn't have to be a lockdown man-on-man corner. He can be moved to slot. He can be moved to free safety. He's going to be versatile in the defensive backfield, which is going to be huge.
Right. Joe Monture's late, and I want to tell you, Joe, we were just talking about you before you got here. We're not happy about it. So we'll, after this is over, stick around after class, and we'll and we'll talk about it. We have some things to say to you. Glad you're here, Joe. Okay, so Richard Sherman it is, everybody. It looks pretty consensus laden. So we'll move on now to a different positional group here. Let's see what we got. Ooh. You know what? Let's stay with the defense. Let's go right to edge and see how that works. So
Appease
here are
the
the
chat.
big. Yeah, that's right. That's right. We were just talking edge. You can't talk about edge and then go, wait, we're gonna do tight ends. You
Right.
know what I mean? You can't do that. Detention, right, Thor? Last mock that we didn't get an edge, waited too long. Well, Matt L, the last mock, we got an edge. We got a good one too, but we took a gamble on the Patrick Jones and Basham both being there. We thought one of them would make it to the next pick, and both of them got scooped up quick. So yeah. We'll be able to do some good stuff, man, in this draft, I think, because this free agency thing is going to help us out. So who do you guys think? We got Clowney, right? Anybody interested in free sack Clowney? How did he do this year? I don't even have his stats. Do you know, Jimmy?
I can bring that up right now. Let's see. I love Pro Football Reference, man. Super quick, super
great.
easy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay.
Spot track guy. I lean on spot track like it's my own company. You know what I mean? Like I'm always in there. It's
Jadeveon Clowney had a combined 19 tackles. He only played 8 games, but he had a combined 19 tackles, 14 solo. Goose egg on the sacks, guys.
And he wanted 20 million, everybody. He held out for 20 million.
Yeah. And remember, from 2017 was his best year at 9.5 sacks. 2018 down to 9. 2019 down to 3. 2020 down to 0. That's a trending down player that wanted way too much money.
Right. He's trying to get that last payday. But
100%.
don't forget those. So he's never eclipsed 10 sacks. He's never been a double-digit sack guy. Now, granted, he's very good against the run. He's a more well-rounded player. He's good. Nobody's going to say he's not good. But when he got those 9.5 sacks, guess who was on the line next to him? A young, virile J.J. Watt. So if you can only get 9.5 sacks with J.J. Watt taking doubles, then you're not an elite pass rusher, in my opinion. But yeah, and I saw Shaq Barrett was another one. So who are you guys thinking? I saw somebody say skip the edge, let's double up in the draft. That's it, and that's an idea, guys. Yeah, guy. So who do you guys think? Do you want any of these cats? What about Leo? You guys want to sign Leo for us 18 million and bring him on in here? No, nobody wants to Leo. He had 10 sacks this year, didn't he? 11 sacks. What did he do? Something like that. So anybody? We got Ngakoue.
I like
We'll
Yannick.
let you
He ended up with, I believe, 8 or 9 sacks this year, but he was shuffled around 2 different teams. Like, he's had to deal with a lot this year, and to be able to
Yeah, he
produce
did.
to be able to produce like he did. I'm not saying he had elite numbers, but you never heard any drama from him. You never heard anything bad. He wasn't complaining all the time. Like, I think it's just become the norm that everybody complains about Jacksonville, Jalen Ramsey, Ngakoue. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But you didn't hear that once he moved around, and I like him though. I think he'll be a little bit cheaper than the rest of them on the list.
Right. And it's so we got Millennials for Free Speech saying he's down to skip the edge. The only one worth anything is Ngakoue. I like Ngakoue a lot, and I also like Matt Judon. I don't like Bud Dupree, and I'll tell you why. It seems to me it's fairly consistent that the free agents who leave Pittsburgh rarely match their Pittsburgh production when they leave that bubble. And that's one of those things, man. And it just makes me nervous. I'm not into signing Pittsburgh guys all that much. So that's what's that?
I was just saying it points to their coaching, because I think you have some of the best defensive coaching in the league in Pittsburgh, and I think that once they leave that, I feel like they get lazy. They're held to a particular standard somewhere, and once they leave that, I just feel like they let themselves go.
Yeah, I agree. And also, I mean, Pittsburgh's developmental program is second to none. So they have a lot of people working on technique and all that sort of stuff. So it's a concern. I mean, it's real. It's been, 30 years of this. So guys that leave, whether it's, back in the days of Greg Lloyd, he was the most dominant edge rusher in the NFL. And when they let him go, it was considered nuts. The next guy who came up was Kevin Green. It's like, they didn't miss a beat, and Greg Lloyd was almost never heard from again. He drifted off into the sunset. So, what do you guys think? Are we? Do we have a consensus guy, Ngakoue, Judon, or are everybody? Are people thinking we should skip it?
I see a comment from James Shea, Ngakoue, the only edge worth signing, and I'm actually 100% on board with that. And I think they're, even as much as I like Ngakoue, I think there are better options in the mid rounds of the draft. So
okay, so let's do a vote, guys. Vote once if you could. Here, I'll put up another banner so we can do this. Look at this one. Vote only once, please. Remind everybody. So let's see. Vote for either one of these guys or to skip this position, and we'll make sure we address it earlier in the draft and maybe even double up on it, like Jimmy just said, in the mid to later rounds as well. We could remember this and just go into the draft knowing edge is a priority. That's what this is for.
Yeah. Some skips, some Judon, some Ngakoues, Yannick. Skip it. Yannick.
Skip to draft Patrick Jones on the bottom there. Yeah, I know. Rafa Med. And let me tell the guys who we had a nice burst of guys come in here a little bit later. So I'll just tell you guys, there are definitely guys that are not on this list. Like what I did for simplicity is I tried to just grab in a lot of circles, the guys considered the top 5 at the position. So I just grabbed the top 5 and put him in there. So, let's try to either pick one of these guys. There are going to be guys that we might sign or that we would be interested in signing that are not on the list. Excuse me, but let's try to just pick from the list or skip.
I'm right there with you, Manny Roman, Patrick Jones, and Joe Tryon. That's my tag team right there.
Okay. So I see some skips. I see a bunch of Judons, Joe Montori, Steve O'Booze, Rockaway Archie wants Dupree. Big Green says Watt for a 5th. I actually think that's going to be part of the Deshaun Watson trade. If it's the Jets, I think we're going to see Watson and Watt come, because it helps them with the contract, and they could get something for a guy because there's no guaranteed money left on his contract, so they can just cut him. But I'm sure they'd rather get something for him. No, he didn't. Mike Gee, he had a sack and a half. Patrick Jones played pretty well in the Senior Bowl. Mike G. So what are you thinking, Jimmy? We skipping or are we grabbing Yannick or Gio?
I just counted about 13 skips. I'm just kind of going back real quick and just running through it. 1, 2. I think the skips have it.
The skips have it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and skip edge. Now remember this, guys. We're skipping the free agent edge. So when we go into the draft, when we're deciding on a cornerback or an edge or a safety or a wide receiver, remember, we skipped edge in free agency. We'll see how we do with the other positions, but that elevates it to priority status when we go into our mock, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, we're going to go ahead and skip this. Let me bring up the next positional group for you guys. I think maybe we'll start getting into some offense now. Let's start with the tight ends. Do we want to grab a free agent tight end out there? So what we're looking at, we have Hunter Henry from the Los Angeles Chargers. We have Jonnu Smith from the Tennessee Titans. We have Gerard Everett from the Rams. Rob Gronkowski, I don't even think that one's real. I think the only reason he's in the NFL is because of Tom Brady, but he is a free agent. And Jared Cook from the New Orleans Saints. Are these guys that we want to?
We are already getting skips. Skip.
It's funny because I had a window covering the chat for a second. I moved it, and all I saw was skip. Right,
now,
so we don't have to dig. What's that?
I kind of agree with the chat. I think I want to see what our tight end room is going to look like under new coaching. But man, that Hunter Henry free agency, that is attractive.
Yeah, I agree. All right, but we'll skip it, man. We'll go ahead and skip it. We don't have to dilly dally. So we'll bring in the next positional group. Okay, we're gonna go right to the wide receivers. How's that sound? This is a big one for us this year.
And just as an FYI, Hunter Henry is going to cost about $12 million.
Yeah, so. and that's something to consider, especially when this draft, although the quantity is not necessarily there, the quality of the tight ends in this draft is pretty good. Mm-hmm. I see somebody saying grab Yeboah. Did you see that catch that he had in the Senior Bowl? Very impressive. He's one of the guys I like. Yeah, it's good. The Senior Bowl was fun, man. I didn't get to watch it live. I had to go back and watch a lot of highlights and stuff like that, but I knew what I was looking for, and Yeboah was one of those guys that I was hoping had a good game. But so what do you guys think? We got Allen Robinson from the Bears. He's been a popular one. Chris Godwin, my number one, if we were to sign a free agent wide receiver. Juju Smith-Schuster, Kenny Golladay from the Lions, and Will Fuller, the Texans. All of these guys have some sort of support from Jetnation. So,
James Shea getting forceful with it. Chris Godwin or no one. All right.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, buddy, I happen to agree. Except for the no one part.
I actually do too.
Rafa Med, fuck who? You said fuck him. Who? Let me see if I can figure out. Godwin? So, here's what, and somebody just said this. Joe Corsello says Robinson's going to be too much, and Thor says Godwin is going to be a little cheaper. He is. So the rumor is that Allen Robinson is going to be looking for Amari Cooper money, which is $20 million. Now, with the salary cap dropping this year, I don't know if that's realistic. So you could probably get him on a 2-year contract for less than that. But it's going to be up there. Chris Godwin is more than likely going to be cheaper, but he's not quite as dominant. He's more versatile, and he's younger, but he's not quite. Allen Robinson can take over a game if you get him hot. And so anyway, that's what we're looking at. What do you guys think? Let's get a nice vote going. Try to only vote once if you can. Once you make your decision. What's up, Eagle fan? We see you.
Okay, so
Michael Thomas. Yeah, Manny Roman. Let me tell you something. I actually put it in episode 6 of my podcast. I go through what the Jets, I think, are going to do with their later round picks and some of the teams that are going to have to dump good guys and what we could do with our picks. I think Michael Thomas is going to be somebody that does shake free from the Saints, and somebody's going to get him for less than they should as far as picks go, because they have to dump. Dude, they're $108 million over the cap. So even if they dump Breeze, that's $68 million over after Breeze. So they're in trouble, man. They're in trouble. Altoon, Corsello, is he available? I would take Altoon.
I think it's pretty close.
Guys?
So far, it's pretty close between Robinson and Godwin.
Okay.
As predicted.
Yeah, totally right. I mean, it's funny because Juju Smith-Schuster a couple months ago was all the rage, but that was when Sam Darnold was going to be our quarterback, and it's looking like that's not going to be the case. So there's no reason to bring Dancing Shoes Schuster over here.
Yeah, Mr.
And I don't know
TikTok.
that rubbed me the wrong way, man. Like making it a point to, it's like making. Oh, okay, Rafa, I got you, and I agree, buddy. Fuck Gronkowski is what he was talking about.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, we support you now, but
Patriot to me.
Thanks. Right, exactly, man. I know it's like in this Super Bowl, at least everybody I hate is on one side. Todd Bowles, Tom Brady, Gronkowski, they're all on one side at least. I'm all Chiefs.
One thing to consider with this one is I love Allen Robinson, and he's going to be the biggest impact, I think. But Chris Godwin is not far behind him for production potential. Now, Chris Godwin is 2 years younger, and he's also coming off a $2 million contract. So we could probably sign Godwin for $6-7 million.
Ooh, no, I think he's going to be at 12.
Think so?
Yeah, I do. But here's the thing. He was quiet throughout that contract. You didn't hear anything about him, did you?
Yeah.
He didn't bitch and, right? So he didn't bitch and moan. So this is a guy that didn't complain that he was overproducing or outproducing his contract. He just went to work every day and put up the numbers. I think he knows what his payday is, and it's gonna be less, So I think he's gonna get about 12 million, maybe even a tick or two more. But your point is valid. He's not going to be pulling the $20 million stuff, but yeah. He's my favorite, man. He can play the slot and the outside equally well, and I like that about him. And the age, man, 24 years old it's like the Curtis Martin deal. It's like, yes, Curtis Martin was on the Patriots, but barely anybody even remembers that because his career was with us. So, he was with us for 8 years or whatever. So if you get Godwin at 24 years old and he sticks around for another contract, it's like he's our receiver. You know what I mean? Yeah, he started on the Bucs, but he's a Jet, and I like that. So what are we thinking? We got Godwin. I know. Listen, I see a couple of you guys saying Samuel. Like I said, Steve O'Booze and some others. Like I said, I tried to simplify it. There are about 15 guys in every category I could have put up here. So I just grabbed the top five from a lot of people's lists, and I went with it. You know what I mean? So let's just, for today's purposes, we'll try to do it with the list if we can. Garrett brings up a point though. He says, in his opinion, Godwin is more of a number 2, and if we're looking for a number 1, because Denzel Mims he's got the 2 locked down. But here's the crazy thing. And I believe this. I think Denzel Mims is a number 1 receiver. I think he might take a minute to get there, if not this year, the next year. But that's how I see him. I saw him like that in college, and I think that he's going to be a number 1 receiver in the league. So him and Godwin running around with Crowder, not the worst group.
He would be Godwin would be a number 1 on our team. That's kind of where we stand. It was a failed Brashad Perriman experiment. Hopefully was going to take over that role, but I think Godwin would be, and I think he's edging it out at this point. Well, I think once we brought up cost, I think the Allen Robinson vote started slowing down a little bit.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Oh, 20 million? I didn't know. Okay. All right. Well, let's move on.
12? Yeah. I think Godwin takes it, and I just think we'll be able to get more out of him for less money.
Okay, well then Godwin it is. And before we leave, let's say hello to Erock, who just landed. Hello, Erock, glad to see you. And Manny Roman has a great comment, and I actually agree. He said Chad Hansen is in the Watson deal is a must. Right, no deal if Chad Hansen doesn't come with Watson. We don't want Watson alone. We want to make sure Chad Hansen comes with him. Great point, man. Great point. What a draft pick by Mike McCagnon. I hope he's able to salvage his career, though, man. At least he's back in the league. He was out of the league for a year or two. All right, so let's the wide receivers. We have Chris Godwin. Good job, guys. Good job.
And I saw one. I'm trying to find. Oh, here, Terry Monroe, $7 million for Neil, plus $7 million for Sherman, and $12 million for Godwin's about $26 million. Yes, but also remember that, and not for the purposes of this mock, but in real life, Sam Darnold is likely being traded. We're likely letting Henry Anderson walk. We're likely letting Greg Van Roten walk. Oh God, who was the other one? I'm blanking on the name right now. Alex Lewis. So if those guys walk, we open up another $30 million in cap space. So when you think about that, that covers our safety, that covers our corner, and that covers our receiver. And we're sitting at the same open cap space that we have now. So,
right. See that? And that's the thing, it's like, don't forget, Sam Darnold cost just under $10 million, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Henry Anderson, he's $9 million, so that's gone. That's definitely getting taken off. So the $69 million that we're looking at is an illusion. It's going to be closer to 80, 85 once maybe even 90 once these guys are gone. Yep. So that's a good point, Jimmy. All right, so look, we got some guards up here. I'll say this first, just so I can get my opinion out there. I know a lot of people like Scherf. I'm not the biggest Scherf fan. I know he's good. I know he's solid. But if we're going to go spending money on a free agent guard, I think Thuney is absolutely the way to go if it was out of those two and all things were equal. Now, if one's $5 million less or something, you got a point. But I think for me, it's pay the money for Joe Thuney. It's my opinion. Well, Robbie Oak, good point. I mentioned in that episode of the podcast, episode 6, that if you wanted, you can send a 5th round pick over to the Giants, who are going to need cap relief for Zeitler. He's about 12 and change, so you could save. Thuney's going to go about 15 or so. So you could save a few $1 million and get a guy. He's not quite to Thuney's level, but he's a damn good guard, and you can do that. But I think, again, for our purposes tonight, we're trying to just use the guys that we have up here because it's tough, man. If I brought in every free agent, we'd be here till tomorrow morning. So, but it's a good point. I appreciate it, Robbie.
James Shea, Scherf is 29. Thuney's 28.
There you go.
Age-wise.
There you go. So they're similar.
Yeah,
sure. I'll tell you, sure. Yeah, and Scherf had those injuries too, man. I know last year he played great, but I don't know, he seems he's iffy. He's spottier to me, and he's more penalized, and he did have those injuries, and he just, again, he'd be great to have, but if it's out of the two, I'd pay the extra $1 million or $2 million for Joe Thuney.
I will too. I don't think Washington's going to let Brandon Scherf go either. I think the tag for him was only to get something squared away cap wise until they could make him the deal. Thuney, my question with Thuney is everybody's like, well, New England could tag him again. Yes, they could, but we all know franchise tagging is usually the beginning of the end for a relationship between a player and a team. And if they were signing him to a big deal, they've had the cap space for the last 2 years. Why didn't they sign him before? So that's the question that I have on New England and Thuney. But I think he's definitely a possibility.
That's a really great point, man. I mean, really, like you wonder, what is the motivation? It's not like they didn't have the money to lock him up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting, but the thing is, don't forget, Belichick likes to let his guys go
Sure.
when he has his pipeline intact. So he probably also needed his guys to get another year so he could make sure that that he had the replacement. But yeah, man, Belichick's not one to pay. He's just not. He develops his pipeline because he uses the comp pick system better than anybody else in the NFL. He uses that comp pick. He's getting extra thirds and fourths every single year. So
Yep.
he's able to take another crack. So if he gets 2 more thirds and 2 more fourths, he's taking cracks at guys like offensive linemen. He got that big guy. What the hell was his name? Fjord something 2 years ago. Guy's a monster, but he's really raw. I guarantee he's going to be starting soon.
Mhm.
And he was the exact guy. I wanted the Jets to take him. Mike McCagnon never even considered it. I know he didn't, the bastard. So
I think Thuney won in the chat. Which
okay,
was
so let's yeah, I'm sorry. Go on, Jimmy.
Oh, no. I was just saying that was expected. I think Thuney would be the best option for the money. And remember, like, these players know that the cap is actually at the floor. Now, it's not going to ever get lower than 176 million no matter what happens. That's the floor of the cap per the CBA. So I think these players they're going to want to stay on with a team they're going to want. So I think a lot of players like a Joe Thuney caliber player will be okay with taking less in year one and backloading the contract a little bit more. So, I mean, those are possibilities that, if you're really doing a deep dive into how free agency is going to work, I think that's something to consider.
Yeah, for sure. So there's another good point being brought up by Eagle Fang. He says, I might be the only Jet fan that does not want to spend on free agents. I rather Joe Douglas get as many picks as he can and draft players made by the New York Jets. I don't think I disagree with that. But at the same time, like I think it needs to be a balance. Like, I would rather see us lose more free agents than sign every year. And for the reason for that is so we can start getting ahead on the plus side of the comp pick equation. That said, it's still smart to bring in a couple vets in positions where you need them. It's the Jets. What we've done is we've depended on free agency. Like we were the guys giving everybody more money than everybody else to try to build a team.
Mm-hmm.
And because we had no ability to draft. So I think it's still important to sign a couple free agents in a smart way. And I think Thuney would be one of those types of guys while we're developing guys like Cam Clark and maybe a Josh Sills or whoever it is that we draft.
Deontay Brown.
Yeah, Deontay Brown, right, man? Yeah, I would be so happy if we drafted him.
Oh, man. And I totally agree with you, GreenBean. I think that you like homegrown talent. The good teams build through the draft. That's absolutely true. But the free agency is a supplement, right? So when you have holes in a roster that you need immediate fills and you have plans on drafting into those positions, you need somebody that has been in the league that, like I said, earlier with Keanu Neil being that peer on the field for the younger guys. You need that, and you get that through the free agency supplementing your draft. So you bring in free agency, you get a Joe Thuney, you draft a Deontay Brown, you draft a Wyatt Davis, some of those guards, and they're learning from Joe Thuney. Like, that's the biggest thing, is a player will learn more from another player who's been there, done that, than they will from being coached. Like, it's
you're absolutely right. And then having that stability too, somebody that you don't have to worry about watching them as they take their lumps in their younger years. Like, that position is rock solid, which especially in positions like offensive line, that can make all the difference. If there's stability on that line, the younger guys that are plugged in can be positively impacted as opposed to a whole offensive line made of young guys that are learning together, because that can be a detriment to them, while they're all learning and getting beaten up together. If you have some stability, like you'll have McGovern and Thuney in there, and then Becton in his second year, Fant really in his second year as a starter. So, and then a young guy. It's like, it makes a lot of sense to do it that way. Who was it? Rafa asked, "What do you think the Patriots would get from signing Thuney?" And the answer is a third-round pick. It goes by the contracts, Rafa. It goes by how much their contract is worth. So he's going to get a max contract, probably the most expensive guard in NFL history up to this point. So he'll get the max comp pick, which is a 3rd round pick. And again, Bill Belichick does that every year. He lets guys like Trent Brown and all these guys go every year. And so he gets extra thirds, man. And it's incredible. It's just such an incredible value that the Jets never do because we're consumers in the free agent market. So we're looking like Thuney. Jimmy?
Yeah, we're looking like Thuney.
Okay.
And the reason he gets a 3rd round comp pick, is because when you franchise tag a player, the franchise tag cost goes based off of, I believe it's the top 10 contracts of the position.
Yep.
And then because you're averaging the top 10 contracts, like that's the max contract that tagged player is going to get, which is hugely valuable when you talk about those comp picks later on by letting them walk after the tag year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really interesting, man. And I'm actually working on a video to explain the comp pick process, but I'll tell you guys, it's really funny. The NFL has not given out their entire formula. So people can make these judgment calls on what they think, and they have a certain amount of information, but even sites like Over the Cap, they don't know. The NFL has not released their formula in its entirety. So it's really interesting. Like, so it's very hard to lock down exactly what people are going to get as far as comp picks for each player. You can make an educated guess, but as far as really nailing it, it's impossible to do because the NFL is still secretive, oddly enough, but they are. It's weird. So, all right. So we got Joe Thuney. Congratulations, guys. That was a pretty good job. So let's move on to the next. I'm really happy. We got Chris Godwin and Joe Thuney. We skipped tight ends, which I just can't believe.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
We got Keanu Neil. We got Richard Sherman. We got Godwin. We got
Thuney. We're doing okay in free agency.
Yeah, and we still have like 60 million available.
Right. All right, let's bring up running backs. There's been some talk of Aaron Jones. There was also another one. I almost put Tevin Coleman on here, but the list went on. There was a few more guys I thought might be, lower end, cheaper options. But again, for simplicity's sake, let's look at the list and see if we want anybody from this list. What do you guys think?
Skip.
Big Green asks what I think on the no combine. What was that, Jimmy? What'd you say?
Everybody's saying skip. I'm like, you're looking at Leonard Fournette and Aaron Jones up there, guys. What are you talking about?
They want to grab they want to skip now because in 10, 15 minutes when we're in there, they want to say
Najee Harris. Yeah.
That's what it is. I see what you guys are all about. But let me just get to Big Green's comment here. He said, what do you think about no combine? What are your thoughts on no combine? How we're going to do compared to other teams? I think Douglas will hit a home run. I think that the Jets personnel department is actually uniquely qualified to weather a year like this. Again, you look at the Senior Bowl. It just so happens that Joe's right-hand man, who was Phil Savage, ran the Senior Bowl for the last decade. He was the director of the Senior Bowl. So if you want to talk about access into that world, literally no other team has the kind of connection to that pool as the Jets. So we're good. I think we'd rather have a combine. I would rather have a combine. I'm sure Joe Douglas would. But as far as, if they're not going to have one, how we're going to do, I think that we're positioned well.
I think you're going to see a lot of the top prospects are going to want to get as much information as possible out to the teams to help their draft stock. So I think you're going to see a ton of live streamed like Zoom workouts, things like that.
Yeah, right. Virtual pro days, right?
Yeah, a lot of videos being sent to the teams. So I love the combine. Like this is my area. I love the off season. Love the combine.
Yeah, you're a Jets fan.
Oh yeah, dude. And I think it's just going to be more virtual, similar to how the draft worked out. You'll just see a lot of videos being sent to the teams. So they're not going to, agents are going to suggest this stuff, Coaches are going to, like college coaches are going to suggest this stuff. They're not going to let their players not be exposed to the NFL teams. So they'll figure out a way to get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree, man. So right, it's going to be very different. But again, even though with everything being different, as far as our personnel department, guys, we have never had a personnel department like we have right now. Not since Dick Steinberg, and I don't even think Dick Steinberg's department was quite to the level that we have now. We're good, guys. It's one of the areas I'm most confident in is our ability to assess, evaluate, and choose players. So are we looking like we're skipping this one? I see some Drake. What are you looking at here?
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of skips too. I'm just checking on something here for
Combine Island. I know, right, Tony G? Why not? Why don't we just get Combine Island going? Lock them all, just put them there for a month.
Yeah.
All the guys and scouts and everybody. We'll get a bunch of drones and we'll watch them run
totally
around.
I'm down.
I'm in.
I like
that. Pretty good. Yeah.
I like that Leonard Fournette's only 26. And
he's going to be expensive though.
I think so too, but I don't know. I really like him. I had him in fantasy this year, and he did absolutely nothing for me for like the first 6 games. As soon as I got rid of him, he's just skyrocketing in stats. As soon as I got rid of him in fantasy.
Yeah, well, good. That's another thing I'll say. Well, you're a Jets fan, so it goes par for the course. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
That's your football experience, man. So Joe Montori said, and this is for you, Jimmy, what would Lindsey cost? He would go for him if the price was right. So before, I think it looks like we're going to end up skipping this, but just for conversation's sake and answer Joe's question, what do you think Lindsey would go for?
Where's his contract? He's on his rookie deal. Yeah, he's on his rookie deal. He's a restricted free agent in 2021 anyway. So.
Is he?
Yeah.
So you're going to have to give up a 2nd-round pick for him or something?
Probably.
Is it just right of first refusal or what is it? Do you know?
Let's see what it is.
And while you do that, Millennials for Free Speech has a pretty good point. He says, I think running backs are where the price tag is important. Maybe we don't want these guys for big price tags, but if we could get Lindsey for $5 million a year, that'd be a great value contract. I agree 100%. That's the thing. It's like, I mean, who the hell wouldn't want Leonard Fournette on their team? But if he's looking for $10 million a year, it's just, I mean, look, we just had the Le'Veon Bell experiment, man. And I don't think, like when you look at Joe Douglas, you know, the regimes that Joe Douglas has worked on, the year Joe Douglas was a rookie in the personnel side of things, they drafted, what the hell is the guy's name from the Ravens? Jamal, I keep wanting to say Jamal Adams. It's not him. Somebody help me out. The running back on the Ravens back in 2000. But since then, there has not been a running, right? There has not been Jamal Lewis. There it is. Thank you, man.
Lewis, yeah. Good job.
So, but that year they drafted a running back high. Since then, no team that Joe Douglas has worked on has drafted a running back higher than the 5th round. I think it is. It might be the 3rd, but I'm fairly confident that it's the 5th round. So Joe Douglas didn't come up valuing running backs in the front end of the draft. Like it's just not, and they've always had good running backs. So he knows he can get potent running, you know, powerful, effective running backs later in the draft. So, you know, Jamal Lewis.
It's not telling me what is restricted about his free agency coming up. I know he was making essentially league minimum, man. He was Philip Lindsay was making next to nothing. He came out of nowhere his rookie year. Nobody expected that. And that's because I believe he was undrafted or something like that, right? Or way late. It was way late. I don't think he's going to be one to ask for those top paid running back contracts because of his injury last year. He had about 500 yards rushing in 2020. Maybe you could probably get Lindsey for $6 to $8 million a year.
Okay. Well, that'd be something to consider. So as far as our purposes tonight, are we looking like we're skipping running back, or did we land on Drake or Lindsey or Fournette or anybody?
Yeah, undrafted free agent for Lindsey. Going through here. Yeah, a lot of skips. I think the skips have it.
Okay. All right, guys. So now we skipped edge and we skipped running back. So I think that might be it. Let me just make sure here. I didn't bring up kickers. I wanted to, but I didn't. Let's see what we got here. I think the Jets can make a trade for a kicker if we want to, but for some reason, Joe Douglas doesn't seem to value that the way I think he should. It's the one issue I have with him. So, center. So we could blow through this because we did grab a guard, but I wanted to put centers up here because if we're going to put Thuney at left guard, we have Connor McGovern in the middle. Now, if we see a center that we really like, don't forget, Connor McGovern's natural position is guard. Mm-hmm. He's a top 10 center in the league. He had a rough first half of the year, of course, for us. But if the plan was to move him to guard and get a more natural center, that might be a plan as well. So any takers on signing one of these guys for center and moving McGovern over a little bit? Pass on center, skip.
I like Corey Lindsey, man. I like Corey Lindsey. Remember that Aaron Rodgers was sacked the least amount of times in his entire career this year.
Hey, that's something to consider right there. I know I like Ted Karras as well. Somebody put him up there. Corey Lindsley. Mm-hmm. Well, we're going to find out, Rafa. We're going to see where Trey Sherman goes in the draft in a few minutes here.
I'm thinking somewhere in the third.
Humphrey. Yeah, I think so too. Third. I'd love to get him. Trey Sherman he's a badass, man. He's a badass.
Totally I think Creed Humphrey, we're going to have to make a decision because we're going to have to decide whether we like Creed Humphrey better or whether we like Deontay Brown better, because I don't think we'll be in a position to get both for the draft.
That's right. And hopefully, so don't forget, we skipped running back, we skipped edge, which takes those positions, and we got to keep them on the back burner of our brain. We did not get one in free agency, so we're going to want to address that in the draft. Now, if we skip center as well, we're going to be looking at the Patrick Jones versus Creed Humphrey thing again. So we got to start thinking about that sort of stuff. It's all right. There are some good third-round centers though this year. Myers.
There are.
Yeah.
I think chat listened to me a little bit because I'm starting to see a bunch of Lindsleys in there.
Yeah. Okay, that would be interesting.
I think ultimately I think the skips have it, but skip. Lindsey, actually. Lindsey. Ooh, that's close. That's a close one, guys.
Yeah, I see Esdras Vincent. I see. He says draft Wyatt Davis and Creed. Well, don't forget, we signed Joe Thuney in free agency. So, we got to remember that. Allocating resources is really important for a personnel department as well. It's one of the things that as fans, as educated fans, which is what we're trying to do here, you want to make sure that you're looking at things through the right lens. I mean, look, we're only fans, right? We don't have any impact on the draft, but it's good to know. It's number one, it's more fun. But number two, when you want to talk about people liking your GM or disliking your GM, you hear a lot of complaints. But if you know what's really going on and you can look at their allocation of resources and things like that and the attention to those details, you could know what you have in a personnel department more so than if you're just like, well, hey, I like this guy and they didn't take him. Well, it's like, well, there are reasons for that. And if you could start to put that together, it makes a lot of sense and it becomes more fun because you understand more. Knowledge is power, so to speak. So we're going to skip it.
Be expensive. Yeah, I think the skips have it, but Lindsley's going to be expensive, guys. He signed a 3-year, $25 million deal. So I think you're still going to look at probably 12 to 15 million for him. moving forward.
Okay. All right. So we will skip it. Let me just double back and see what we did here. Okay. We did safety. We
We got
got
safety.
Neil. Right?
We got a corner.
Okay. And who we get for cornerback, Jimmy?
Richard Sherman, and then we skipped edge and tight end.
Okay. And the guards, we got Joe Thuney.
We got Joe Thuney, and we got Chris Godwin at wide receiver, and we skipped
Chris
running back.
Godwin at wide receiver. All right. We skipped edge, we skipped running back, and we skipped center.
Got it.
So that brings us to the close of our mock free agency. Guys, I think you did a great job. This was fun. Any thoughts before we move on to our actual mock draft now with free agency in the mix? Any thoughts? How do you guys feel? You feel accomplished? You feel happy?
Rafa, I think we could afford him, but I think that would be the limit. Like if we went Thuney and Lindsley, I think that would be the limit. But again, Buffalo went out and spent $70 million on an offensive line for Josh Allen. They made the playoffs, so it's a priority thing.
Yeah. Oh, it's funny. I almost put him up there just for shits and giggles, but I already made the same joke with Leonard Williams. Brian Winters and Tom Compton are available free agents for guards. I don't know if you guys wanted to go out and scoop one of those cats up.
Yeah, there's a reason we got rid of him.
Yeah, there is. And Joe Douglas knows what he's doing. So it is interesting. I saw James Harrison, who I was really surprised at the Jets cut. And he's been here for a few years. We cut him. He went over to Buffalo. But Buffalo cut him too, and he went over to the Giants. He just signed with the Giants either yesterday or today. So I don't know what it is with that guy. I mean, I think it looks like he plays well. He's about as good of a reserve center as you'd want. But for some reason, he bounces around, and I don't know what it is. So interesting. Vlad Dukas or no one, right, Indy? Garrett Van Wagner. We did address edge, but we discussed edge. Let me say we chose not to address it. We chose to skip it and push it to the draft. Rather than spend, it looked like Ngakoue and Judon were going to be a little bit of money. Dupree we weren't in love with, and so Leonard Williams and so forth. So we chose to push it to the draft. So now we're going to go into our mock draft. So let me get up here. We are going to pick the New York Jets. Boom. Let's do 7 rounds at normal speed. And there he goes. Trevor Lawrence is gone, everybody. And I want to make a funny little observation for you guys. Have you noticed, do you think Trevor Lawrence now knows the difference between the New York Jets and the Jacksonville Jaguars as far as the national concern? I mean, have you heard a word about Trevor Lawrence in the past few weeks? Nothing, right? When he was going to potentially be going to the Jets, it seemed like the world was on fire. It was every day, interviews, blah, 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 all this shit. You haven't heard a single word because no one cares about Jacksonville, sadly, but it's the truth. And that's the difference between New York Jets and the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I think Trevor Lawrence now knows that. So, guys, we have a trade. We have 2 trade offers. So the Bengals are offering us the number 5 pick, the 5th overall, pick 38, their 2nd, pick 69, their 3rd, and next year's 1st to move back 3 spots. Remember, we do not have Deshaun Watson. We have Sam Darnold still under contract, but we do need to think about quarterback. So the Miami Dolphins are offering us their 2nd, 1st, and their 2nd to move back 1 spot, guys.
You got to take that trade.
Let's see what I agree. I feel similarly, but what do you guys think? What do you guys think? So Miami's coming up to get somebody.
Cincinnati or Miami, guys?
They're coming up to get somebody. Who do they want? Do they want to take our guy? That's Strickland. It is, though. It is.
Terry Monroe, I agree. Samuel Locke, I agree. Big Green, I agree.
What are you guys thinking? Miami. Armand said Cincy. Take the dot. Yeah, it looks like Miami's crushing it right now. Armand is the only one I see taking the Cincy pick, right?
Remember what I said,
All right.
guys, about we're going to have to decide whether we like Creed Humphrey or Deontay Brown more. With this Miami trade, we probably don't have to choose between. Just saying.
Right. This gives us a third first. All right, so we're going to take it, right, Jimmy? Am I ready to pull the trigger here?
Miami trade definitely wins this one, brother.
Let's counter it and try to get a 7th. What do you think?
Let's go for a 2022 first.
A 2022 first?
Let's bring.
Never happened. Oh, but they're. Oh, I didn't see that. They want our 34th. I didn't see that. Did you see that? Hold on a second.
I didn't actually. I didn't pay attention to that.
No. I must have hit a button here. Wait a minute. Wait. Oh, they want our 2nd. So okay, this is a little bit different. So they want to give us. So essentially, they want to let us move up from our 2nd to the 18th, 34 to 18, and then they throw in 36. So we don't lose much. We just gain position, which is not bad either.
That means we're picking 3 times in this first round.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll.
Let me see. Yeah, they declined that one, Jimmy.
Yeah, Steve-O, I don't think they'll take the 2nd off either. They're jumping up.
Yeah, well, let's try to add something. Let me try to add pick 117. I'm going to fool around for a second. There it goes. We got another pick. We got a 4th round pick out of it. So, okay, we move back. Let's go back to the simulator. Who they taking? Dude, they took the tackle. That's who they took. So we still got Fields and Wilson.
Beautiful thing.
Yep. That is beautiful. So we are sitting at 3. We didn't lose a damn thing. We just gained some positions. Now we have 3 more trade offers, guys. We have the Carolina Panthers want us to move back 5 spots. For the right to move up, they want to give us their 2nd and 3rd, 39 and 73. Good deal. Detroit wants to give us next year's first and pick number 7 for our pick and a 5th. The Eagles getting into the mix. They want us to move back 3 spots for their 2nd. So who do we want to counter here?
Let's
look at them again. You don't want to trade this one? Oh, I like it. What do you guys think? You want to entertain this? Go ahead, Jimmy.
I think that we gained a haul. We gained an extra first round pick in this draft. We still have our 2 quarterbacks to choose from. If we go back to even 6, I don't think that's the case. I think Wilson and Fields are gone by 5. Especially with Sewell gone, I don't think Cincinnati. I'm not saying Cincinnati's going to take a quarterback, but I'm saying with Sewell gone, Cincinnati's going to be more apt to trade out of that number 5 spot. So I think somebody's going to hop that, and our 2 quarterbacks are going to be gone. So my personal opinion, I like Zach Wilson at 3.
Yeah. All right. So it looks like well said, well-stated argument. Now, see, look, I'm a reasonable man. I listen to well presented arguments. I heard that and I agree. I do think that it is slim that both Fields and Wilson make it past those picks to number 6. I really do. So let's take these off the board. Now we got to get to this. So who do we want to take at 3? Now, guys, do me this favor to make it easy. Vote 1 time and tell us the player that you want. We've decided we're not going to trade down. I hear you, Tony. I would definitely entertain it. But the logic is in Jimmy's corner. Okay. So if we want a quarterback, we already got a haul. And we have the opportunity to get that haul and our quarterback. I think you take that every day of the week. So who do we got here? Fields or Wilson? No Trey Lance, huh?
1 Trey Lance.
Oh, really? Good.
There was one. Yeah, there was 1. Wilson, Fields, Wilson. Mac Jones trade down. No thanks. Sorry, Steve.
Now that's the thing. Well, that's the thing. If we were going to trade back, one of the things that I would throw on the table is like, so if we trade back and still eyeball Fields or Wilson, if nobody's there, you can consider taking Matt Jones. I would not want to take him that high, but if you got all those picks and Matt Jones, it might be something. So Ryan Kramer says, just before we move on, I think the Falcons take Farley and the Bengals don't go quarterback, so one quarterback would fall. But that's the thing. It's risk versus reward. You know, I hear you, Ryan.
Ryan, here's what I'm talking about. So we took the Eagles pick at 6, right? So we dropped down to 6. Atlanta is gonna take a quarterback. Okay. Eagles probably won't take a quarterback. However, the pick that Cincinnati is eyeing is Penei Sewell. They have to get their left tackle. Penei Sewell is gone. There's not really a left tackle that is worth the number 5 pick beyond Penei Sewell right now. So Cincinnati is going to be looking to stock up on draft picks. They'll move out to a quarterback needy team. I'm almost positive, you guys, that Wilson or Fields would be gone by 6.
Yep. So even though that might not happen in this particular draft because of the algorithm and all that sort of stuff, I still think it's wise to consider that. Like we got to play. You know, you play the board that's in front of you. At the same time, you don't want to go for really unrealistic stuff. So I think it's smart. So who do we got? Do we got Fields or Wilson?
I think Wilson won it.
Wilson won it, huh?
I think so. Wilson, Trey Lance. Jamar Chase.
Robbie Oak. We want Sam. Well, I'm sorry. You're not getting what you want for Christmas this year.
Yeah,
sorry, Robbie. I am.
Wilson takes it. And it's actually Trey Lance almost tied Justin Fields. But Wilson is the dominant choice.
No, Fields is not gone. Everybody we want is still there. The only 2 players that are gone are Trevor Lawrence and Sewell, guys. So, all right. So, is it Wilson?
It's Wilson.
Okay. All right, guys. Let's move on. We're going to take our quarterback of the future, Zach Wilson from BYU. There he goes. Look, Justin Fields right there. Look at that. Justin Fields, the Atlanta Falcons took the quarterback. They did. Look at the Giants with Trey Lance. I don't think that's real.
Neither do I.
All right. The Eagles want to play today, Jimmy. They're not usually a part of this. So they want to give us pick. They want us to move out for the pick that we got from Miami. They want to give us pick 37. That would give us 36 and 37. Mm-hmm. Pick 70 in next year's second. It's not sexy enough for me.
Nope.
Look at this. The Giants want to give us
that second to a first for 2022, but I don't see that.
I know. We could play with that if we want. The other offer we have is from the New York Giants. They want to give us pick 42, pick 76, next year's second, third, and fourth. That's decent. We could add something to that as well. What do you guys think? You want to explore any of these trades? What is the chat looking like? Way too far back. I hear you.
I think Adam D'Antonio has an excellent point that J.C. Horn from South Carolina is right there.
Let's take a look. All right. Let's take a look at – so their big board has Rousseau, Horn, Elijah Vera Tucker, Kadarius. So they're all there. I mean, we only have a few guys gone. Let's take a look at who's there for a wide receiver, just so we have it. Kadarius Toney, Rashad Bateman, Terrace Marshall. They're all there. Tight ends, Freiermuth. So Kyle Pitts is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Don't forget edge, guys. So we have Rousseau, Aguilari, Asai, Owa, Phillips, Perkins, Basham, Jones. Kwity Paye went? Oh, look, he did. The Vikings took Kwity Paye. I didn't see that. Najee Harris has already gone at pick 15 to the Patriots, guys. That's going to be fun.
I don't believe
That's going to be fun.
I don't believe Belichick makes that draft, but
so let's remember this. So we have pick 18 and we also have pick 23 coming. So you got to make the assessment. Which guy do you think's not going to be there at pick 23? That's the guy you want for a position of need. So we have cornerback. We did not address edge in the free agency period. So those are priorities, and we have center guard and wide receiver. So what we got Chris Godwin. So we could push receiver for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the chat thinking? What position do we want to get?
Edge and guard is deep. I agree, Strickland. Brad Finkelstein. Sorry if I butcher it. Take Horn. Russo, edge. Take the edge.
Adam D'Antonio is saying take Horn. And here's the logic behind Horn right now, is that the edge – let's look at cornerbacks real quick, and then I'll make this point. So here are the cornerbacks, guys. We have Horn, and then look at the drop-off. Okay, there's a drop-off there.
Yeah.
Edges, when you look at Rousseau, those next 5, 6 guys, and in truth, I think Basham and Jones are right there.
Correct.
So
yeah.
we have a much deeper pool right now. Now, when you look at the guards, Wyatt Davis, Deontay Brown, Trey Smith, they're all still there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now let's look at the centers. Landon Dickerson, Creed Humphrey, Josh Myers, Trey Hill, they're all still there. So they're all going to make it to pick 23. And subsequently, more than likely, a lot of them are going to make it to pick 36, where we are.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of logic that says if you're going to go cornerback in this draft, you might want to take Horn right now. And that's, you guys know me. I'm edge over cornerback every single day of the week. I know Robbie Oakes like, damn it, GreenBean, stop talking sense. But the thing is, hey, listen, I want to tell you something. Where was he? I just saw Strickland. Good point. If not Tony, so he wants Tony. He wants Kadarius Toney, and I get it. But we just signed Chris Godwin. So remember, we got a nice receiver in free agency. So there are places where we didn't address. The only cornerback we brought in was Richard Sherman, and that was not so much based on his talent. Mm-hmm. It was more based on his leadership and what he's going to be able to do for the culture. Okay.
You put J.C. Horn on the other side of Bryce Hall, and in that 4-3 zone passing defense, it's going to be solid. It's going to be solid.
Yeah. So that's the logic with Horn, but I'm seeing a lot of edges. I think they don't care. Can we get a count here? Horn. Oh, I'm seeing some horns. I moved up a little bit. Armand.
Good
Horn.
Call. Horn is the pick. I like you.
Gary Borriello, Horn, Edris, Vincent. He's going right to it. He don't care. He wants a kicker.
I think the edges.
I
think the edges are dominant, but if we're now Horn's coming back. Now see they're starting to hear the logic in it.
Yeah, Liam Riordan's jumping right in there. He knows where we're going later with their kicker. Cameron Dicker, Sweaty Balls kicker. There he is. The Horn, Adam D'Antonio, the originator of the Horn movement. So it looks to me, as I go through it, I'm seeing Terry Monroe still says edge. Ben Collins is saying edge, and Luis Sanchez is saying edge. Gary Borrello, edge.
See, Garrett Van Wagner, I'm right there with you, man. You're gonna have there are fewer elite corners right now than there are elite edge rushers. So I'm in love with Patrick Jones from Pitt. I think he is gonna be a franchise player, and he's gonna be there in the second round. So
just for shits and giggles, I want you to remember that Pat Freiermuth is available. I just want to put that out there. Pat Freiermuth is still there. Where's Greg Tarr? My Freiermuth.
You convinced me. Right, go
guys, let's do it right here. Everybody start right here. We're going to look at Brad Finkelstein, and we're going to start down. Everybody give us one vote for you, the player you want. If it's edge, pick a player. If it's cornerback, pick a player. We're going to do the vote right now because it's been a while. It's kind of convoluted. It's hard to keep track of. Try to only vote once, please.
Boom.
I remember D. Milliner, Stevie Booze. That was one of, you know what's funny? I told a story in one of my podcasts. I actually was at the Alice in Chains concert, the Miami Fillmore, during that draft. It was Idzik's first draft, and we traded Revis. I was so excited to have 2 picks in the top 15, and when we picked Milliner, I was destroyed. I couldn't believe that we picked D. Milliner. I was so upset.
Vera Tucker.
Pat the Yak Fryermuth. I like that, Braden.
Fine horn.
Fine horn. Ben Collins, Rousseau. All right, everybody's votes here. And watch, let's take a look here too. While it looks like, and keep counting if you wouldn't mind, Jimmy.
I got you.
The edges. So we got Rousseau, Aguilari, Osai, Owa, Phillips, Perkins, Basham, and Jones. Those are our guys, and then Joe Tryon and some others later. Quincy Roche and the bunch. How many we pick in 5 picks? How many of those guys you think are going to be gone? Right, 1, maybe 2 at the most.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if we're going from that, I think Horn took it. J.C. Horn took it.
Okay. So, and this is going against my better nature, but I do agree that the only elite cornerback left is J.C. Horn, and I think we have elite edge rushers on the board. Mm-hmm. So let's do it. Let's take J.C. Horn. There he comes.
Oh, you went right there.
Yeah, the only edge taken was Rousseau at 22. So we got 3 trade offers, guys. 3 trade offers. The Panthers want to give us pick 39, so that's what, 16 picks and 73 in next year's second. Ooh, Pittsburgh wants to give us a 6 to move back 1 spot. I don't like it. They want our boy, whoever it is. That's what they want. They want a 49. Ooh, a second and third. That's a decent trade as far as value goes. And if we want to start compiling for next year, we could look at that, but pick 23 is pretty valuable, guys.
Yeah.
What are you thinking? Does the chat want to entertain any of these trades? I know, Thor. I love trades too, buddy. Fuck you, Pittsburgh. That's fantastic. You better bring a 3rd-round pick to that party, Pittsburgh. 6th. Get out of here. We're still in the 1st round. All right, let's look at their big board. Okay, and I'll go back to the trades. Let's look at the big board here.
No trades. Take tight end. Maybe.
Elijah Vera Tucker. Aguilari.
Now, one question on Vera Tucker. Is he, I'm not 100% familiar with him. Is he a left or a right tackle?
He's a guard. Oh, no, Vera Tucker. He's a tackle. I believe he's a left tackle. I'm sorry. So I don't want to go tackle this high. If you guys, obviously, I only have 1 vote, but go and tackle this early, in my opinion, would be a mismanagement. Don't forget, Fant played well, man. I mean, this was his first year as a starting right tackle. We have left tackle. So I don't know. I don't think the first round should be guard. I'd go for.
Yeah, he did. Well, Vera Tucker did play guard. But they moved him to tackle.
They moved, yeah. So here's the thing. We were kind of talking about edge a minute ago. In my opinion, we should stick with that. I know everybody's kind of going nuts because they saw Travis Etienne sitting there. Our next pick is 16 or 13 picks from now. Mm-hmm. Okay? So Fryermuth is here, E-Rock. He is here. But we were fighting about cornerback versus edge. We took the cornerback. Do you want to push edge to pick 34 and see if Patrick Jones and Basham make it? What does the chat want? And then you want to go guard? We got Wyatt Davis is still sitting there. So is Deontay Brown. Creed Humphrey's still there, guys.
Yeah, I think we can go guard then center, but I think at 23, edge is the play.
Yeah. So, okay, guys, give us your vote. If you could, give us your position and your player. Don't give us two players. That muddies the water. It's tough. So just give us a position and a player. Vote one time. We'll count them up, and that's what we're going to do. Okay? Jimmy's got a vote. I got a vote. I would vote to bypass edge. The edges are strong. And I would go, me personally, I'd go with Wyatt Davis right now.
That's fair. What's the guard?
Creed Humphrey. That's what.
What's the guard? Yeah.
We got Wyatt Davis. We got your boy, Deontay Brown, Trey Smith. They're all there, man. And then you still got the guys later. You got Ben Cleveland, Royce Newman. Like, they're all still there.
Mm-hmm.
So we could even double dip at guard and get a quality pipeline going.
Okay, I just saw Samuel Cosme was taken by the Bears at 20. That would be because Samuel Cosme is a natural right tackle. So he was the top right tackle in the league or in the draft. So that's one that I would have considered.
All right, so what are we looking like? Aguilari is an outside linebacker. We need defensive ends. I agree with that, which is what Patrick Jones is. Guard, Vera Tucker. Wyatt Davis will be there in the second. I disagree, Garrett Van Wagner. I think Wyatt Davis is going. He's not going to make it to 34, nor is Creed Humphrey, in my opinion. We will also lose edge rushers. We're going to lose Aguilari for sure. Asai, I think they're all gone. We might be left with Jalen Phillips, Ronnie Perkins, Basham, and Jones, which is more than enough for me, man.
I'm still eyeballing Patrick Jones. I probably agree with you about skipping edge right here because I value Patrick Jones over even the guys that are above him. I know that might sound crazy, but the tape I've watched on him is beastly.
Yeah, well, no, I agree. And PFN's board isn't really in line with the boards that I trust more. I'm a big Walter Football Draft Tech guy.
Yeah.
So their boards have Patrick Jones significantly higher than PFN does. Patrick Jones is gone already.
Right.
And some other boards. So what are you guys thinking?
I'm seeing a lot of Davis. We did skip running back, but we don't want running backs in round one. Terry Monroe.
I agree. Let's look at them. So we got Etienne, Javonte Williams, Michael Carter, Felton, Stevenson, Gainwell, Hubbard, Sherman, Kylan Hill. They're all still there.
Yeah.
Etienne's going to be gone, though. If that was your target, look, let's put up our votes. Wyatt Davis, Freiermuth. I know I love me some Pat Freiermuth. I caught a lot of shit for that one last week. You know that when we took Freiermuth with our first pick in the Deshaun Watson trade episode, and I got some hate mail on my Instagram. I did.
I think Wyatt Davis is looking like the slim leader here.
Rafa Mills wanting edge line. I know Collins. I'm with you, but middle linebacker's a touchy one. I think we got to grab one. I do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
But I don't know about the first. Mosley's an X factor right now, man. I think that this is probably the best coaching staff that we could have signed to hope that Mosley finds that fire again, in his own words, because this is an inspirational group. So Vera Tucker, Muhammad Wilkerson,
Fryer Muff.
Fryer, yeah, that's right. So Wyatt Davis, it looks like, huh?
Okay. I think so, yeah.
All right, so we're going to grab Wyatt Davis. This is a good move, guys. Good job. There goes Vera Tucker. Aguilari, there's an edge. Leatherwood, there goes Etienne, guys. Zaven Collins, there he goes. Mac Jones, Pat Fryer. Mac Jones was the first. Joseph Osai, there he goes. So we lost two edge rushers in that batch, and Pat Freiermuth. And Etienne. So we got 2 offers, guys, for pick 36. They want us to go back to 59 for next year's second. They want us to go back to 50 for this year's third. Any interest, guys? Any interest in the trade?
Not for me.
What are you guys thinking? Just first question, any interest in the trade? Yes or no? What do you guys like? They're like, fuck you. They're already talking about players. Like, shut up. Shut up, GreenBean. Pass. Hell no. No way. Reject. No. Okay, good. So we're going to go ahead and pass on these trades. Now let's take a look at our edge rushers. We got Owa, Jalen Phillips, Ronnie Perkins, Carlos Basham Jr., and Patrick Jones. That's the first batch. Who do we want? Pick your player. Pick your player. Go pound sand. Greg Tarr is a man after my own heart. You know what I say all the time? Pound salt. That's my little. I catch myself sounding older and older every day, Greg. Pound salt. What the fuck is wrong with me?
You want to click on our logo at 36, the Jets logo at 36?
Sure.
One of the questions we have left.
So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 picks left. And look at the batch we already got, man. Zach Wilson, J.C. Horn, and Wyatt Davis. These are top prospects with our first-round picks. We did quite well.
But we go from 36 to 66. So we got 30 picks in between. So I think even if it's a little bit of a reach, I think you take an edge here.
Absolutely. That's me. Personally, my vote is Patrick Jones right now. That's what I want.
I agree.
But let's go. I wouldn't be upset with any of these. So, oh, man, look, Basham. Basham.
I wouldn't be mad at Basham either. I like Patrick Jones a little bit better, but Carlos Basham's pretty good too. So
that's right. Ryan Kramer has a good point. If Creed Humphrey goes between now and 66, Josh Myers is still going to be there if we did want to go center.
Now, and again, with Creed Humphrey, the biggest thing, like the biggest knock on him is he's a left-handed center, so he snaps the ball left-handed. So like shotgun sets and stuff, like quarterback would have to work with him a lot with that because the ball comes in different. So not knocking his ability. Creed Humphrey is elite, but
so Big Green, Jimmy, if you wouldn't mind answering this, I can as well. Big Green wants to know why Jones over Basham.
I like Jones's first step, and I like his bend ability over Basham. I think Patrick Jones showed an inside and outside. Like, he's not a one-trick pony. So a lot of edge rushers, what you run into is they have that quick first step. They have that really good bull rush, but they don't have a finesse. They don't have a swim move to go along with it. Patrick Jones he checks the boxes. Multiple moves. He can rush the passer and shed blocks based on who is blocking him. So if it's a guy that's going to be a more upper body strength, going to, get into his face and push him off the route, he's fast enough to come back inside. And Basham has a lot of these traits too, but just from what I've seen, Patrick Jones has the first step ability and the bend ability with the quickness to get inside or outside of the tackle that's guarding him.
Yeah. Well said. Well said, man. And Greg Tarr brings up a good point. Let's not forget, we're about to install a primarily 4-3 package.
Yep.
Okay. So we're looking for more of the defensive ends as opposed to the outside linebacker types.
Right.
And look, it sounds minimal, but a lot of times when you do that to players, look at Sheldon Richardson. He was dominant when he's playing the 3 and 5 technique. And then when they moved him, they switched the defense and moved him to more of an outside linebacker. Even though they kept him up on the line most of the time, his production fell off a cliff. And it sounds silly, but it makes a big difference. These guys, these are highly refined athletes anymore. Like it's not like, back in, when I was younger, it's like the same guy could play, like Joe Klecko. Fucking he played every position on the defensive line. It didn't matter. He's like, I'm a defensive lineman. Where do I care what I line up? But now it's very different.
Well, that's the same argument. It's the same argument like I keep trying to tell people in the Facebook groups and stuff when the draft Penei Sewell at 2. He's a left tackle. They don't swap sides. You can't shove him or Becton. You can't push him out of position because everything is reversed. So like on the tackle side, everything's reversed from the left to the right. The footwork's different. The protection packages are different. The responsibilities are different. So you can't just swap them like that. And when you start just playing players out of position, like production suffers and then everybody blames the player.
Yeah, right. Which is why last year when they were talking about, even though the guys look like they're doing well, but like Wills and Wirfs, everybody's, we're just going to switch them over to left tackle. I didn't like that. I wanted a left tackle, man. Like you can't just make that assumption. That's a dangerous game to play. And so that has bearing for me. Millennials for Free Speech asked, is he the only one that watched Patrick Jones get thrown around one-on-ones at the Senior Bowl? I'll tell you what, I watched a lot of that game, and the parts that I watched that Patrick Jones was playing, he looked very, very good to me. Set the edge. He had 1.5 sacks, if I remember correctly. He did okay. He had a couple tackles on the line or for losses. So he showed up. So we got Jones or Basham. Where are we?
My vote's Jones.
Let me see. Who do we got?
Jones better for a 4-3. Jones. Jones.
All right, so we're gonna go Jones. Thanks, Big Green. Big Green likes your answer, buddy. Okay, Jones. Jones is coming in hot. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take him. We're going to take Patrick Jones from Pitt. There we go. Let's watch what happens here. There goes Samuel. There goes Rashad Bateman, Rondell Moore. Creed Humphrey's gone. Jason Owa, Terrace Marshall, Amon-Ra St. Brown. The wide receivers are going. Ronnie Perkins. There he goes. Deontay Brown. There he goes, buddy. Carlos Basham made it all the way to pick 60.
We got Wyatt Davis.
Yes, we do. So Amari Rogers just got taken. There goes Walker Little, one of the guys I like at tackle. So we have 2 trade offers, guys, for pick 66. The Raiders want us to go back 14 spots to pick 80, and they'll give us next year's 4th. And the Giants are offering the same 4th to go back 10 spots. Any interest? And don't forget, we could always counter and throw in a 7th for next year, stuff like that. What do you guys think? Any interest in the trades? Take a look at them again. The Raiders pick 80 in next year's 4th. And the Giants pick 76 and next year's 4th. So that would save us 4 picks if we wanted to go with the Giants. Reject. Let's take a look at the big board in the meantime. So what position are we thinking, guys? Let's take a look at what we did. We got our quarterback, we got a cornerback, we have our starting guard, and we got our edge rusher. So this is right in the realm where we could start thinking about some stuff. We did not go tight end, which I think we should at some point. We did not go wide receiver. We are in the 3rd round now. Okay. So it's right in that time. We have 2 third-round picks, pick 66 and 86. Do you want to grab a center? Do you want to grab a wide receiver? Do you want to grab your tight end or a running back even? I think it's right on that border if you want to grab running back. Let's take a look at the running backs and see who's there. Michael Carter. Kenneth Gainwell is still there, which blows my mind. So is Chuba Hubbard and Trey Sermon. Oh, and Kylan Hill. So these are quality backs. Gainwell and Sermon. What's that? Go ahead.
Oh, I think we can grab Trey Sermon a little bit later.
Okay. So let's look at the linebackers.
I don't mind running back. I think I've been marking off what we've been drafting. Like I presented after our free agency, I listed what I felt that our team needs was quarterback, edge, interior, offensive line, wide receiver, corner, linebacker, and tight end. Were like the primary needs, and I kind of listed them in priority.
Okay.
Well, yeah, jumping at the chance to get J.C. Horn, like even though I didn't feel like cornerback was essentially a top need, but we got that filled pretty well.
Right. We do need it, and he's an elite prospect sitting there when
definitely.
the other guys were pushed. There was a lot more quarterbacks and stuff taken up top, so it pushed a lot of guys. So, and that 18th pick, it gave us some flexibility to do something like that. So I want to make a point. The linebackers right now, we have two of the top linebackers sitting there, and that's Jabril Cox and Chaz Surratt. Monty Rice is also another one.
Yep, give me Jabril Cox all day, every day. That LSU pass rush is nasty.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, I love Jabril Cox. But if given these two guys, I would go with Chaz Surratt.
Yeah.
I think he's incredible. But either one, if you guys wanted to go linebacker, there are still two of the top linebackers are still there. I'm not seeing that with the other positions. Like wide receiver, we're on the second and third tier right now. Edge rushers, we're in the second tier right now. Cornerbacks, we're in the third tier right now. Running backs, we're in the second tier right now. So these are top tier linebackers. They're still part of that initial group. Maybe second tier, let's call them. What's that?
Steve-O's comment.
Let me see. Where is he? Cox, wait, Steve-O. Oh, yeah, Yucky Town.
Oh.
You get it. You get it. You get it, buddy. Show us the positions. Here's the big board. So they're looking at Michael Carter's at the top, Eichenberg. Let's see. Josh Myers, a center. He's still there, guys. That would be great. So if we got Wyatt Davis and Joe Thuney, if you wanted to grab a Josh Myers and let him sit behind McGovern for a year or two, and he's our pipeline guy and there for injury, it's a great move. It really is. But I think right now you want to still try and grab starters if you can.
Yeah.
Because we're only in the third round. So if we can, you want to do that. So let's look at the tight ends. Brevin Jordan and Hunter Long are still there. Kenny Yeboah had a good game in the Senior Bowl. Nick Eubanks is still down there. Trey McKitty had a good game too. So do this, guys. What position are you thinking right now? What do you think? There you go, Big Green. We got linebacker. I'll show you guys the wide receivers. Tylan Wallace is still there. Elijah Moore, Tutu Atwell.
GreenBean, what's our next pick after 66?
I think it's 86. Yeah, there it is, 86.
Okay, so 20 spaces.
I'll tell you who's not going to be there. Either one of these two linebackers. I'm willing to put money on it if I wasn't a gambling addict who doesn't gamble. I would say Jabril Cox and Chaz Surratt are not there at 86.
Yep.
Let me see something here. Trey Smith is still there. I know. He's a good one.
I just
the
saw
wide receiver. Yeah. And Tylan Wallace will not be there, wide receiver. Again, I think if you can grab a starter here, you want to do that.
I agree. And I think Jabril Cox is going to be there, or going to be my choice.
Okay, so
look how far Shaun Wade's fallen on these boards.
What's that?
Look how far Shaun Wade's fallen on these boards. Like, they had him as a first-round talent.
He was a first-round talent not too long ago. He had a rough end of the season, man. He really did. Man.
The playoffs killed him.
Exposed. Killed him. It's sad to see, but maybe you can get some value there, later on, like Bryce Hall, All right, so who we think? Cox. It looks like Cox all day. Okay, we're going to go ahead and grab Cox. You see anything different? No,
I like that. I like that move there because what we're doing is we're spending $7.5 million to see if CJ Mosley's actually going to be a player again. And if he's not, I want to be ready to go with somebody at that position. So
that's right. And unfortunately, even though he will be on the roster in training camp this year, Blake Cashman does not look like he's going to make it.
No,
I'm rooting for him. Yeah. All right. So we're going to go ahead and grab Jabril Cox. There he is. Nice. Good pick, guys. I would have gone with Chaz Surratt, but I feel really good about Jabril Cox. There goes Josh Myers. Chaz Surratt. See, there he goes. They were gone, man. Let's see if Tylan Wallace makes it. There goes Trey Smith. Ooh, Hunter Long. All right, so look at this trade offer. The Rams want to come in. They're all trade happy these days. They want us to go back 11 spots, and they'd like next year's 7th to get 97, 187, 219, next year's 5th and 6th to go back 11 spots. What do you guys think? That's interesting. We could probably add like a 7th to that too, like next year's 7th, or take off our 7th and see how that goes.
Can we look at wide receiver real quick?
Look, Tylan Wallace just got taken, as did Hunter Long. Yeah. Okay, let's take a look at wide receiver.
I'm liking Tutu Atwell.
But I like Tutu Atwell, but I'll tell you who I'm targeting right now, just as me, is Seth Williams right here. And Sage Surratt has been sliding. Yeah, I think Seth Williams is going to come out of this draft being one of the better wide receivers. He's going to be like a Terry McLaurin. Those guys, you'll see. He's something else. But anyway,
Tutu Atwell's 3-cone drill is going to be off the charts fast. He's going to be one of the better route runners.
Yeah, agreed. Did you see that video that came out this week of Tyreek Hill's footwork?
Mm-mm.
Did you see that?
No,
dude. It's like nothing you've ever seen. His footwork, you can't even see his feet. It's like it looks like a blur. It's unbelievable.
I don't doubt that at all.
It almost looks sped up. It's incredible. So what's the chat thinking? What position do you want? You want to go receiver? You want to go tight end? Brevin Jordan's there. He's a starting tight end, man, out of Miami. Not for nothing. Interestingly, that's where Chris Herndon came from.
And I like Brevin Jordan here too because we're at pick 86 and he's still ranked 70 on the big board. So
that's right. That's right. So he's sliding. You're getting value here.
Yep.
Tight end or running back, you want to take the trade. Indy says the trade. Take the trade, Barry Borello. Adam says take the trade. Joshua says take the trade. Indy says take the trade. I think that's twice from Indy, though. All right, guys, let's do it right now. Do you want to take the trade? I got like 4 or 5 votes for take the trade. Nick Haskell wants to take the trade. Joe Corsello says Jordan or trade. Samuel Locke, Jordan, take the trade. Trade. Look like we might take a trade here.
Let's get quality. No trade. No trade. No trade. No trade.
E-Rock, trade. No.
Well, that's close.
What's it looking like? Yes, it is close.
For everyone that says do it, the next guy says don't do it.
Yeah. Look at that. Literally, no trade.
Yeah, that's my point.
I think let's have some fun, man.
I'm down for the trade.
We're gonna lose. We're definitely gonna lose Brevin Jordan, but Kenny Yeboah is sitting there.
I agree.
And
he had a great senior game.
Yeah, he did. All right, let's counter this trade, and we'll see. Let's throw in a 7th. Wait, let's do this. Let's see if we can take our 7th away. That'd be nice. So we get 5 picks for 1 here. Wait, hold on a second. I'm gonna try both. Let me see. Let's take our 7th out and add their 7th. Let's see. No, they declined that. Let's take our 7th away, and they accepted it. So there you go. We slid back 11 spots, and let's see what happens. Watch Brevin Jordan go off the board. Greg Newsome, Diami Brown, Brady Christensen, Kenny Yeboah. Really?
No way. Gaino's gone.
Oh, look. Dude, he went 1 pick.
That's it. Start it over. Start the whole thing over.
I know. Start this shitty draft over. All right, anybody, any takers? We got pick
No.
121 in the next year's fourth, pick 107 and 138. I think these are off the table, right, guys? So look, we still got new Trey McKitty had a good game in the Senior Bowl. Nick Eubanks is somebody I looked into a little bit earlier. I like him a whole bunch. I might go Trey McCritty here. McKitty. Running backs, we got Chubba Hubbard and Trey Sermon. You want to grab Trey Sermon?
Can we look
Wide
at our
receiver, Elijah. We still got some receivers there, man. Some good guys. But don't forget, we pick at 101. Let's take a look. We have 97, 101, 117. Man, we got a lot of fucking picks left. We're doing okay. What are they thinking? What's the chat want to do? Hubbard, Sermon, or Williams? Sermon. Phillips will be the best edge in this class next to Parsons. We could double up on edge too, guys. Don't forget. We got a linebacker, more of a middle linebacker type, and we got a natural defensive end. So look, we got Zach Wilson, J.C. Horn, Wyatt Davis, Patrick Jones, and Jabril Cox. As we go through the later rounds, I'd like to maybe speed this up just a little bit because we only got 5 picks and we have like 36 more. So, okay, what's the board thinking? You want Trey Sermon? You want Seth Williams, Tutu Atwell, Trey McKitty?
Where's Trey Sermon sitting at on the big board?
On the big board? Well, let's just take a look here. He's 139 and we're at pick 97.
I would take
Chubba Hubbard is
I would take Tutu Atwell here at 97. It's a little bit of a reach, but he is going to be an impeccable route runner, and he's going to be huge. That's another starter that we're getting at the end of a third round. So,
okay. So Jimmy is saying wide receiver Tutu Atwell, Seth Williams now. Brad Finkelstein. Yeah, I'd say if we're going to go receiver, we got to have a discussion. I would prefer Seth Williams over Atwell. I'm fine with Atwell. But if I would prefer him. So what do you guys think? E-Rock says Moore. Who's Moore? Elijah Moore out of Mississippi. That's what he's saying. Wish I had some stats on him. I don't remember what type of receiver he is. And let's see what we got. Trey Hill is still there for center. Ben Cleveland, Royce Newman, they're still there for guard. Trey McKitty is 168. We got time for him, most likely. So we got 2 picks in the next 5 picks.
I'm not too high on Elijah Moore just because he's 5'9", 185.
Gotcha. Okay.
Had a big year, almost 1,200 yards receiving in 2020, but not a whole lot of production beyond
There you
that.
go, Indy. Indy would like to defer to GreenBean on the wide receiver. Thanks, buddy.
But let's
Tutu Atwell.
let's take.
I know, Tony G, right? We're rocking it tonight, buddy. Okay, so let's take Tutu Atwell then, and then we'll try to get Trey Sermon. And then we can grab Eubanks. All right, so we'll grab Tutu Atwell.
Thanks, man.
That's all right. No, you got a couple supporting votes. I only got one or 2 guys want my Seth Williams. It's okay. I think it's a good move.
I still like Seth Williams. I'm just saying, like, from the route running that I saw with Tutu Atwell on his tape is second to none. With the obviously not talking about like the Jamar Chase or the Devontae Smiths and stuff like that, but for this tier wide receiver, he is the best that we're going to find.
Yeah. All right. So we got a trade offer. You want to move back 11 spots and give up next year's 7th for? I don't think we need any more picks. I think we're good, guys. What do you think? All right. So we signed this group. I know, right? We still got to sign them. So we have Trey McKitty and Nick Eubanks for tight ends.
I like McKitty
Trey
here.
Hill is still there. Trey Hill is still there out of Georgia for center. Ben Cleveland. We forgot about safety. We can grab Sean Wade, Divine Diablo.
Sean
We
Wade's a
got
safety
Jacoby
now.
Stevens.
What they
Yeah,
changed him
yeah,
to
totally.
safety?
Yeah, he did. He changed a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay, maybe that's
Jacoby
why he's down
Stevens.
here.
So we should think about safeties too, guys. So let's start moving a little bit. Who do we want at 101? You want to grab a running back?
But we got Keanu Neil in free agency.
For safety. Good point. Good point. I still think we should grab a young one, but that's good. I don't feel any more pressure anymore.
For
That's
sure.
right. It's a good point.
And there's actually a USC safety that I really like, Isaiah Polamau, towards the end.
Yeah, that's my guy. I've been talking about him every week. He's one of my top 5 sleepers in this draft. Trey Sherman, is that who we want? Sherman or Hubbard or Eubanks? That's where we are.
Where's Sherman sitting right now?
Let's see here. Sherman is 139. We're at 101. It's a slight reach.
I like
think
him, though.
I'd be fine.
I
You guys
like
want Trey
Sherman.
Sherman?
I agree with Sherman.
Okay, so we're going to go Trey Sherman. All right, there it is. Boom. Okay, here we go. Adrian Ely. Kyle Trask finally gets. There goes Ben Cleveland. That's surprising. Cameron McGrone, Nico Collins, Quincy Roche. Holy shit, he slid down so far.
Wow.
If I would have known that. We didn't look at the edges in a minute.
I think we're rejecting all trades at this point now, right?
Yeah. We're not going to take any more trades. We don't need those 3 picks right now. So we got 117. Where's our next pick? 133. So we got a minute. Okay. What position? I think we should grab a tight end. Trey McKitty's the next guy up.
Yeah,
go Nick Eubanks.
But just because his number says 168 doesn't mean he's going to be there. What you're like, you'll read the draft board, and he's the top tight end left. So if a team decides at 125 that they need a tight end, they'll take him. So we got to
right.
I think we need to take McKitty here.
Okay, you guys good with Trey McKitty, or do you want to jump over him and grab Nick Eubanks?
Eubanks.
Oh, yeah, they're all Eubanks.
Eubanks. Hey, I'll defer to the chat.
Yeah, there's a lot of Eubanks. Trey Smith. E-Rock's all over Seth Williams. We could go back to the wide receiver. We can. But we got to start moving. Look, Seth Williams is gone. Sorry, buddy. Oh, right there. Look, 1 pick above us. Oh, we've had that happen a couple times. All right, so Trey McKitty it is. Okay, so there goes Sean Wade. There goes Chuba Hubbard. Charles Snowden's still there. I love Charles Snowden out of UVA. He didn't show up in the Senior Bowl, though. I don't know why. I expected more from him. So, okay, guys. Trey Hill is still there for center. That is value if I've ever seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Jack Anderson. Let's look at.
I also like Tommy Kramer from Notre Dame as well at guard.
Let's see here. Oh, yeah, okay. Tommy Kramer. So what are you guys thinking? You want to grab a center? This is a great place to start developing your pipeline. These guys, we don't need them to start right away. Oh, I thought you said Seth Williams now, E-Rock. You said Seth Williams. Wow.
Mike G, I think we drafted Atwell.
Yeah, we did. We did. So let's look at the edges. Let's see who's there. Shaka Tony's still there. Holy shit.
I would take Shaka Tony right now from Penn State 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. He shouldn't be here. I think Shaka Tony's a great one, and then we can come back and try to grab Trey Hill. Or do you want to jump Trey? Shaka Tony looks like he might be there. Look, he's going. He's going.
I agree. I think we should get the edge now.
But Trey Hill, he might. Where's our next pick? All right, we pick in 8 spots. So is that what we want? You want to grab Shaka Tony, and then we'll come back and build that wall some more? We got Joe Thuney, Wyatt Davis, and we'll grab a center. Okay, so let's do that. I already forgot what I said, though. What did I say? Oh, the edge. All right, so we'll grab Shaka Tony. What the hell is it? There he is. Oh, he's going to be nice. I didn't know we were going to get him at pick 133. There they go. Oh, Trey Hill's still there, so that's what we're going to do, right, guys? Any argument? Trey Hill. So, right, Trey. Nick. Tony is a steal. Ben Collins is bringing up a good one. Carrie Vincent is still there. Oh, look at him, dude. What's our next pick? He is a very, very good value corner right now. Very good. We got to wait 24 picks till the next one. So I think we decided on Trey Hill, but Carrie Vincent's a big one. Yeah, Hill's crushing it. All right, guys. Hill it is.
I like Trey Hill.
Sorry, that was it. Yeah. No, that was a good one.
And remember, 2022, there is my personal favorite cornerback coming out is Derek Stingley Jr. out of LSU. So.
Oh, yeah, good. I'll keep an eye on him. Oh, look at Carrie Vincent right there, right after us. See, yeah, we knew that. We were not getting both. Got to build the wall. Kylan Hill, there he goes. Did we grab our running back yet?
Yes, we got Trey Sherman.
We did. Okay, good. Let me make sure. Did we? We did. Look at this group, dudes. We're crushing it. All right, you want to look at the corners? What are you guys thinking? Trey Brown. Yeah, I'll be real honest. We're getting into a batch I'm not too familiar with. I do want to say I really liked our last week. We got to pick Mr. Irrelevant, and we picked what the fuck was his name? Hold on, I'll tell you right now. He actually played in the Senior Bowl. What was his name? I don't know. Maybe he's gone already. I forget his name. It was a great name. Racy McMath. I'd like to get him just because I like that name. So what position we thinking, guys?
Is Falele still up there at tackle?
Ooh, let's take a look. I doubt it. Let's see. Nope, he's gone. Alaric Jackson is there, though. You guys want to grab a tackle? Jack Anderson's still there for guard. We can get a real nice pipeline going right now.
Hill? Which Hill?
Sean Jolly. Cornerback, Hill, Dart. Didn't we take Hill already? We did, right? We did. Right, we got Trey Hill. So what position are we thinking, guys? We got to start getting through this here. You like Kramer? Let me see. Tommy Kramer's still there. Sedarius Hutchinson. I like Jack Anderson a whole bunch. Let's look at the corners real quick. Again, Thomas, I'm not really that familiar with these guys. Benjamin St. Just.
Yeah, I don't have names.
Jolly out of Appalachian State.
There's another Appalachian State guy that I really like, wide receiver Jalen Virgil. He's super fast, like a 4.2 240, and incredible route running as well. But he's App State, so he's going to be pretty low.
Yeah. DeMonte Coxey's still there for wide receiver. So give me your positions, guys. Let's crush this. Safety we got.
Draft all the trays you can get. I agree.
Paris Ford is still there. Paris Ford is still there for safety. That's pretty good value right here, guys. Get him with his buddy Patrick Jones, two guys from Pitt's defense.
I like Paris Ford. Tariq Thompson as well. I know Tariq Thompson, not personally, but he plays in.
Right.
I'm a Boise State Broncos fan, so he's in my Mountain West Conference.
All right, so let's just look. All right, so the guards, we got Jack Anderson. We got our center. We can go with Alaric Jackson for tackle. We did not grab a tackle yet. Be smart to get one. We doubled up on edge. We could double up on wide receiver.
I just don't know which tackles are right tackles and which ones are left tackles. And at this point, just to say the need is filled.
All right, so we'll grab Paris Ford.
Yeah, I agree. Paris Ford's good stuff.
We have, 3 more picks? Is that what it is? 3 more, guys, and we'll get Cameron Dicker or something along those lines if we want at the end. So we got 2 more picks. What'd I do? Right. Look at that. Darius Stills. I know, the defensive tackles. It's so funny. We're not even looking at them. Jack Anderson. There he goes.
So we're set. Jonathan Franklin Myers and Quinnen Williams. These guys are beasts.
There goes Coxie and Schwartz, 2 wide receivers that were very good to take back here. Trey Brown out of Oklahoma. Want to get a cornerback? Pipeline. Put a defensive tackle in the developmental pipeline. Okay, let's see.
Yeah.
We got LeBrian Ray out of Alabama, Jordan Scott out of Oregon, Lorenzo Neal. I know that name. It's not the same guy.
Yeah.
Defensive tackle is the position group I've looked at least.
Yeah.
So anybody, any interest?
I don't mind the idea. Yeah. I don't mind the idea of going defensive tackle at this point either. But I just haven't researched them. So
the best defensive tackle on the board is Jordan Scott out of Oregon. We still got Nick Eubanks up there, man. Did we not grab him? We didn't grab a tight end? Oh, yes, we did. We grabbed Trey McKitty. I wouldn't mind doubling up on tight end either. Get rid of these Griffins and Browns and all that. What's the board saying here? Trey Brown. Okay.
Trey Brown. What's BPA?
Best player available. So you want to grab Jalen Moore, a tackle, and then we'll go and grab a defensive tackle. What do you guys think?
I think so. That's not a reach. So we get some depth. The more guys fighting for those spots on the O-line, the better.
That's right. Okay. So we grabbed Jalen Moore out of where the hell was he from? Western Michigan. And then we're going to grab a developmental defensive tackle right now. Let's take a look. Let's go by school. Look, Alabama. Let's see if he stays. We're going to grab him. We'll grab the Alabama. Get Quinnen Williams to take his boy under his wing. If he makes it.
There is the connection there too. There is the connection there.
That's correct. All right, so we guys good. They wanted a defensive tackle. We grabbed the guy from Alabama. Here's our last pick. Let me have it. You guys want to go kicker, or you want to grab another prospect? Cameron Dicker, the chick banging kicker. There he is.
I like Jonathan Doer as well from Notre Dame.
He's actually a better kicker, Doer. But Dicker's more fun.
Oh, it's absolutely more fun.
Yeah. All right, so here's Godor's gone anyway, though. Oh, the Dicker's gone.
No way. I've never seen that happen.
Gone. I've never seen this before. Where did Cameron Dicker go?
Yeah, we just assumed.
Yeah, we just make these assumptions. I don't see him. No way.
There's no way he went in the 5th round.
He did. Did I miss him?
Just write it down. We can just write it down. He's still there.
I know, with the right in.
Yeah.
Did I miss him? All right, guys. If we have kicker, it's only the guy from Miami, Florida, from Memphis, or Michigan. Or we can just grab another guard. Or we can grab a wide receiver. You want to grab a wide receiver? I say we grab, where'd he go? Racy McMath. That's my guy.
I like the name.
Sean Jolly, cornerback. Let's see. Dude, Chris Rumpf is still there for edge. Too bad we double dipped already. You want to grab Sean Jolly at Appalachian State? I'm okay with that. Someone got Dicker to enjoy, exactly. Best player available. Let's see what they got here. Ventrell Miller, linebacker. Tight end Kyle Granson. Chris Rump. Jesus.
I don't trust Florida linebackers.
Right.
Sorry.
Good reason. Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and we're going to give somebody in the chat a bone here. Where'd he go? Let me see who it was. Ben Collins. You're going to get a bone. We're going to take your boy. We're going to take Sean Jolly out of Appalachian State.
There it is.
So there it is, guys. I think that's it, right? That should be our last pick. So here's our draft. We got Zach Wilson after a trade back, which was pretty nice. We got J.C. Horn at pick 18. We got Wyatt Davis, the guard at Ohio State. Patrick Jones, edge rusher out of Pitt. Jabril Cox, linebacker out of LSU. Tutu Atwell, wide receiver out of Louisville. Trey Sermon, the running back at Ohio State. Trey McKitty, the Georgia tight end. Shaka Toney, edge, Penn State. Trey Hill, the center out of Georgia. Safety, Paris Ford. Jalen Moore, offensive tackle. LeBrian Ray, a defensive tackle. He's our next Fadukasi. And Sean Jolly. And we also gained a 5th and 6th to go with our 4 of each for the next 2 years. That gives us 9, or 5 of each. So not bad, not bad. Any final thoughts? I think this was a great draft, guys.
I like it, man.
So many, yeah. Oh, and don't forget, what did we do in free agency, Jimmy?
So in free agency, we picked up Keanu Neil, safety out of Atlanta. We got Richard Sherman at corner. We got Chris Godwin at wide receiver. Joe Thuney at guard.
Not bad. Dude, we just crushed the offseason, everybody. If we were able to do anything like this, Joe Douglas should have a statue made for him. That's how good this offseason is.
Playoffs, if it looks like this.
Oh, Greg Tarr said Cameron Dicker decided to go back to school. That's what it was, that bastard. Well, good. At least nobody else got him. He's ours or no one's. If I can't have you, no one can have you. Yeah, A+ offseason. So, again, guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and post this on my Instagram and Twitter tomorrow morning. If you haven't followed me, I'm GreenBean the Jets fan on Instagram. On Twitter, I'm Bean the Jets fan. My episode 7 of my podcast just dropped this morning. Give it a look. I go into the largest NFL trades, like the trades in NFL history, to give us some perspective on this Deshaun Watson potential. So I go through all of them. We have a good time in there. And Jimmy, why don't you give us some plugs?
So you can follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all of it at Jets by Jimmy, or I'm right here, right there. I'm also on YouTube. I play a lot of video games. So if there's any gamers in here, I live stream video games on YouTube as well. And you can sub to my channel at youtube.com/C/Asylum Reaper. One word.
Right. And that C is just something that YouTube did. That wasn't his idea, I assure you.
No, it was not. I got to my custom URL and they had already had it set up there. And so, but if you search Asylum Reaper, you'll just see a little cartoon like drawing of a Reaper with a spray can tag and everything. So that's me.
Yeah. Yep, that's just what YouTube does. All of our custom URLs have that little letter C in there for some reason. But Jimmy, listen, man, I really do appreciate you coming on. This was fantastic. It was great having you. I enjoyed it. Everybody go check out Weapons Hot and his gaming site. But Weapons Hot is at the World Sports Radio Network. So it's really good. I was able to be on there. They had Ryan from Jets Talk on last night. Mm-hmm. So anyway, guys, you guys were awesome. I would dilly-dally a little bit more, but we've been on here for 2 hours and 15 minutes. This was the longest one yet. Again, thank you so much. I will see you guys next time, and have a great night.
The Washington Redskins at the time They didn't want to trade the 5th overall pick. They didn't want to do it. They probably wanted Ricky Williams, or they wanted somebody for their own team. And Ditka just kept dumping shit. No, I'll give you this, I'll give you that. And he got to a deal. You're seriously going to give me the 12 overall, every pick in this draft, plus your 1st and 3rd next year for one guy? They took it. So you want to know how this worked out? 2 years later, the Saints traded Ricky Williams. I think they fired Mike Ditka too. Like, this guy's out of his fucking mind. So that's what they did. This guy's out of his mind. They bought in on name only. They said, hey, man, he's a genius. We're just going to go. Nobody thinks this is smart. Nobody else in the organization bought into that one. I'm sure of it. But they let him do it because he's Mike Ditka, and then we learned right there that Mike Ditka's plumb crazy.